I'm here.
One. Hello, everybody. We're here for another round of the Chlamydia tournament. Again, I know I say this every time, but to this day, nobody has ever corrected me and told me how to say it, so it doesn't matter here nor here. I am joined here today by KASIER. What's up, KASIER? How you doing?
What's going on?
A legend. Well, we won't say legend. We'll say it's been a while since you've played, like, comp officially, yeah? A couple years?
Yeah, a couple years. This game period, it's been like 3 years.
Okay, alright. Well, hopefully we see some good matches tonight between these two teams. They are, this is semifinals for, the Chlamydia tournament. And right off the bat, I will say, personally, I love Himmelsdorf as a competitive map compared to the other ones. So it should be interesting to see what these teams do, getting into it. No crazy tanks. I mean, short of, I guess, like, the QL I haven't seen on Himmels in a while. Only because, like, with the accuracy changes, it is just an easy pen. And then especially fighting, like, Type 5 heavies, it just doesn't hold up. But we'll see how it stacks up to the competition here. One is going to be defending with VZ double type 5, IS7 double IS4, and an E4. Let me check real quick just so everybody knows. This was one's map pick, and so we'll see if they got anything fun or crazy playing for it. The one thing I will say about one specifically is they love their VZ55s on this sort of maps. I shouldn't say one, I should say Santi, and then specifically, geez, who was the other guy? Dodger. But Dodger's at an IS7, I believe it was Dodger. Koza setting up with an E4 to hold the cross. Doesn't look like anybody's going to. Blind fire's coming out. At an absolutely epic blind fire out of one, they're actually hitting the fountain in the middle. Bit of a miss, that's okay. Pretty standard stuff so far. Double 50B out of DECOY pushing up above. E4 out of Ditz Dip. Also up in the thing. I think Papa Snowdog's just going to spot that, and then this is just going to be kind of how the game starts, I guess. Well, it's a little slower here. Compared to the last time when you played, KASIER, what's the most unique tank that you've seen? Because I know you've been around, you've been watching streams of recent of other people. What's the tank that you thought you'd never see in comp as much as it is nowadays?
I'm pretty sure you know what I'm about to say. The Type 5.
I was about to say, as a Japanese, yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody thought in 2018, 2017 that one of the best heavy tanks in the game was going to be the Type 5 heavy for general comp usage. And I know we started using it in Shy and Synergy when it first got buffed. And not everybody was doing it. Some teams were, but now, almost 2 years later, after I'd say a year and a half, it is just a staple on most city maps and most small maps, just because of the kind of dominance that it brings to the field.
In 2017, 2018, you've seen it a lot on PC, but not on console.
It just honestly wasn't good. It really wasn't good. And then with the addition of kind of way RHE rounds work now, or not RHE rounds, how good RHE rounds are, and then the ability to, at least for what we run in Synergy, and then what I assume a lot of these guys run too, is running the ammo swap perk, or ammo swap equipment, coupled with gun ram or vert stabs. You have like a Type 5 heavy that can choose to either fire heat or HE at a moment's notice, and it's insane. I mean, it's to say it bluntly. You try side scraping with any tank versus it's going to be like minus 500. It's very difficult to win a damage trading game. Jester DCI, I think, is the first tank to get spotted there from Papa Snow. So Jester's going to know that there are people up above him, but at the same time, Decoy is going to know Jester's down there. So I'm wondering how they're going to choose to push this out. Reformed Wizzy also getting spotted in his IS4. depending on how the Decoy Type 5 heavies decide to play this, is going to be the determining factor of how long Wizzy stays alive, because with Wizzy in the position he's in and Koza in the position he's in, I don't think those types can cross unspotted and get to Wizzy unpunished. You see Shoot Blinks keeps getting lit there on that corridor. If the types can get to blind fires, or not blind fires, they're just shooting at Blinks, they might hit Bob. I don't know if Bob knows that Blinks is spotted behind him, that both are detected. Decoy's got this locked down, or sorry, excuse me, one's got this locked down pretty well right now. Super Delicioso in the IS-7 has pushed in the courtyard. Decent position out of that. Some really good view range to happen there. Koza has lost hit points. I don't know what shot at him either. Wizzy is the tank to kill currently. They need to dig him out of position to start anything on this cap side. But to dig Wizzy out of position, you're going to have to dig Koza out of position. And to dig Koza out of position, you're going to have to dig Santi out of position. And then Dodger, of course, just in the back of the map with a IS-7 also. Papa Snowdog losing almost 1,000 on the hill, too. I didn't see any shots like that come out. Onto him. And then one is slowly... The push is coming out of the Type 5 heavies now. One bounce. They did lose a lot of hit points. Two bounce. Wizzy is going to die now. It's just how long he can stay alive that's going to matter. I mean, there you go. Type 5 heavy not even getting the pen. 692. That might have been a heat round, or that might have been an HE splash on the side. I don't actually know. Let me see if we can get in closer to the tank to see where that shot actually hit. I don't know. But yeah, Type 5 heavies, they're certainly fun to fight against. They're very fun. Wizzy able to get another shot in. It's going to be too little too late, though. Types are going to clean him up now. 416. He should be dead this shot. Low roll. That's okay. Sick Desires out of one. Tried to push courtyard. I think he ran into its dip in the E4. E4. Doing E4 things. Wizzy does go down. Hit points are actually very even, though. Sick Desire is now stuck in a rock and a hard place. You have a hull down IS-7 or a hull down E4. I don't blame him for taking the hull down IS-7 over the E4, as the E4 is just basically one of the tanks that skill checks the Type 5. 772. These are some crazy heat pens out of these Type 5 heavies if these aren't HE rounds, especially with the amount of time that guy just aimed. That was just a, yeah, solid lower plate shot onto that E5, E4. Type 5 heavy might be trying to push here. QL fired and missed. Its dip is already out of that location, though. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left. 50Bs are starting to get in on the action. This might be the deciding factor right here. Jester DC in the IS-4 is ready for the 50Bs, but they do get a Type 5 heavy kill, and they're mag dumping the other one. Are they going to be able to kill him? He is going to be one shot. And that is going to be it. Does die to the E4. One now down 3,000 hit points. Jester DC and the IS-4 solo on this flank versus 5 tanks. Not looking good for the rest of one's forces here. Shot, bounce out of the E4 actually. Surprise, surprise. APCR isn't good enough, I guess. QL getting an ammo rack. IS-7 488. Jester DC trying to go for the E4 kill. Does he get it? He does not. Type 5 heavy. 16 seconds left on the base. Santi going for a reset. Can he get it, though? If he peeks these types, he is going to die. He did not die. Okay. 476. Oh, it's Dodger Blue having to turn around for the 50Bs. This is going to be GG for Decoy winning round 1. 521 roll out of the IS-7. Low roll out of the 50B. High roll out of the 50B. Jeez. Another high roll. And 138, and that is going to be game. Congratulations, Decoy winning round 1. Initially there, trades were kind of even. One kind of pulled ahead, but then there was a couple of weird pushes out of one's Type 5 heavies that I think lost them the game. They lost like 2,000 hit points trying to push that E4 sitting at the edge of banana. I don't know why they wanted to push him. Because they were already... I think they wanted to try to, like, clear that guy out of the courtyard. They wanted to clear Decoy's IS-7 out of courtyard, but I don't know why that call was made on defense. Because that courtyard guy really wasn't getting in, like, crazy shots. So, just a bit of a misplay there out of 1. Anything you noticed, Kaiser, there in that game of things that went wrong, or...?
Well, things that went right. Decoy's Type 5 heavies pushing in on Wizzy. Wizzy was kind of helpless. And then 50B's doing a easy flank, getting the clip off on banana, just winning it for the team.
Yeah, you almost got to imagine what would happen if one would have kept their Type 5 heavies back in the initial position they were in. And so the 50Bs wouldn't have pushed off hill. But I do agree, and like we were talking before, the Wizzy and the IS-4 was the push that needed to happen. I mean, Wizzy is going to die now. Oh, hang on. It's just how long he can stay alive. Real quick. There you go. So, you saw there, I mean, IS-4 versus Type 5. IS-4 is very good, too. I mean, that's probably a new tank for you, too. I know for a fact they weren't playing that back in the... Back in the day? So that thing has got, what has it got? It's got better turret armor, better gun handling, better DPM, better hull armor, which makes it a heavy. It basically has the same reload as like the Valor now, and DPM as the Valor, so it's like a pretty punchy tank for where you can use it in. So,
and it has heat over the i7, so I'm sure it can pin the Type easier.
Yeah, it doesn't struggle as much versus super heavy tanks, but it's just not. It's just not as fat. The IS-7 is one of the most consistent tanks that I think we've seen in the game for the past like 5 years. It's just never. It's never really been bad. You know, at least the whole time.
Turret armor.
Absolutely. And it's got better over the years, if anything. Thank you very much for the 6-month sub link. Means a lot, dude. And right now, the IS-7 is a menace out there. It's very good. So, you know what isn't good anymore, though? The Super Conqueror.
Super Conk, yeah. It's too slow for the meta.
It's too slow. It just doesn't have the armor to hold up anymore, man. With 6.0 accuracy, you can turret punch an S-Conk free. Well, not free, but it's hard. It's hard. Going into round 2 of Himmelsdorf. Remember, this was one's map pick. Honestly, pretty similar tank lineup out of Decoy, except they're rolling with a 113. That's actually a tank I haven't seen yet. It's very good for pubs. It has phenomenal DPM. Gun accuracy is good. The armor just isn't the greatest. It'll be curious on where they send him. I think they're probably going to send him G3. I don't know where else they'd send a 113. Why they would pick a 113 unless they're sending him to G3. I could be completely wrong about that, so don't hold me to that at all. Over on one side, triple QL. That's... Man, I haven't seen this many QLs for a long time. I get why they're running them. They're very mobile. They might be able to cross this gap before Decoy's even in position to punish this. E3 is not even there. First QL cross. Second QL. That's a VZ55. Has already made it forward. Slick Desire's also pushing up banana. Man, if one knew the positions that they were in right now in comparison to DECOY, they would play this, I think, much more aggressively. Because they could full control 890 line, like, right now if they wanted to. Ooh, Super Delicioso getting folded in the 113. That ugly armor is coming back up. You could basically use the 113 as a medium tank, I think. I don't know why, what, like, the role they're trying to put it in right now. But it's not doing well right now. Interesting to see how DECOY decides to respond to the way one is playing right now. If Papa Snow Dog's going to spot Dodger Blue into the VZ55. I know we do a similar thing when Synergy's playing this map. We like to send 3 Type 5 heavies to the middle of the map. Because basically, and we saw DECOY do it last game, getting tanks to where like Slick Desires are and Dodger Blue is actually kind of easy. There's not a whole lot of lanes you can hold to prevent them from getting there. It's just what you're going to do with those tanks after they get there is where teams differ. Then also what kind of tanks that you send there. So right now, obviously, I would say that one is up hit points, but DECOY still has more hit points than they do. So interesting. E4 out of Reformed Wizzy, rotating up to the castle. I Shoot Blink should spot him here. No, he spots I Shoot Blinks. Type 5 heavy, camera running better. Wizzy does miss. That's a fluffed shot. That would be a free 850 and a 900 damage shot. He'll probably high roll. Let's be realistic here. It's an E4. Double Type 5 heavy and an IS-4 holding the B cap. Really heavily stacked down there. Idol living out to his gamer tag, sitting, holding the ramp, doing nothing. Just waiting for spots, and then everyone else of one's roster kind of playing courtyard and looking towards courtyard. They gotta start to do something here soon. 4 minutes have been wasted. It is important to note here, and I didn't think about this. One is running no Type 5 heavy, so the position that Super Delicioso's in the 113 is actually very strong. If you don't have a tank that can just HE you out of it. So with him sitting here in the 113, he might be almost impossible to kill. If I had to guess right now, I'm going to say Idol and Wizzy are going to drop off hill at some point soon and start to contest these Type 5 heavies in this IS-4. It looks like one is going to try to play the B side. That is where a majority of DECOY's players are. But it is probably the right call right now with one not having the ability to dig that 113 out very easily. Dodger Blue has moved up to the next road, getting ready to attempt to contest its dip. Now, this won't go well for him because it's going to be an E3 versus a VZ55. He does turn himself around. So, kind of has stalled out here. Alright, KASIER, if you were in this situation, what are you doing? How are you breaking the defense?
I'll probably go for ACAT.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
I'll tell you what, one's thinking what they're going to do. I don't know if you can see right now. They're gonna
Full
come.
hop,
They're gonna come down the pipeline here, and it's gonna. Oh, the double tanks are gonna push down from hill. Wizzy and Idol are not gonna have good shots here. Oh, here it goes. Papa Snowdog does bounce 2 shots. Careful on that Pete Koza, and that's about what I thought was gonna happen. Yep, dead. They need to make it worth it. They need to kill Papa Snowdog. This is a bit of a ballsy push out of 1, especially because the Type 5 Heavies are being left to their own devices. Just music gets set on fire. Another shot from the Types. Trying to get in here. That's the first time I've ever seen that done. Just to tell you that. And they're not looking so well HE-wise. Because now you have Idol and Wizzy here, right? Fighting a 3v2. So unless like Dodger Blue or one of his teammates like help Wizzy and Idol here, they're gonna die to these Type 5s and IS-4s. Be getting clipped out. Idol now getting farmed out by the 50B. IS-4 taking Mark 6's ammo rack, and that's the slaughter on one side. I just think that was a miscall. Mispushed, excuse me. Yeah, that was... Yeah. Obviously, we could see that from like the top view where we saw what was about to happen, but I don't think one was expecting 2 Type 5 Heavies and the IS-4 just to be chilling there unspotted. And yeah, so
3 non-pens on the 50B on the initial push.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. I did see that. And one of those was an E4 shot and a Mark 6. So you had like 390. How much APCR pen does the E4 get? Like 390 or something? 395? I can't even remember.
Ridiculous amount.
Yeah, so bouncing off him. Wizzy doing the most damage on the team with 3,200 out of the E4. Not enough for his team. Unfortunately, the QL's all only getting 1 shot in. I personally don't like the QL in today's meta. It's not a bad tank. I just don't know what purpose it serves better than for, say, a IS-7 or IS-4 in the same spot. Aside from it has better DPM. But the armor above...
Give you the heat for Type 5.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That could be... You're correct. It's just with the way 6.0 accuracy works, you don't really bounce shots off tanks like you used to. So unless your tank has like actual good armor, you're gonna get penned, you know. So, but over on Decoy side, I mean 3,000 IS-4, 2,700, E3 2439, 50. Both 50Bs doing 2K, really good damage out of the 50Bs. Type doing 1731, and then Delicioso was the tank that was being held on train tracks and got there late, but still doing 889. So congratulations. Decoy winning Himmelsdorf 2-0 going into round 2, which is going to be Mines. I hate Mines. I don't think it's a good comp map. People have been playing this map for ages, and it like hasn't changed at all. And it's still kind of small. What are your opinions on Mines? You like it, hate it? How are you feeling about this map when you guys used to play it?
Mines, it plays out the same every time, ever since 2016.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It used to be fun. They had climbs and shit. When you used to be able to send a light tank up to the climb on the right side there. What is that? Like,
right, yeah.
You know, J9 or whatever. The bottom right-hand corner of the map. And that used to open up like some, okay, you can play with a light tank, get some, you have to have like a good light tank player get up there and do the climb. But then that kind of gives you like hill control and the ability to reset. But when Wargaming, for whatever reason, in their infinite knowledge, said that this climb is too OP and they took it out, kind of closed off that avenue. And cause I'll be honest, I kind of didn't mind it when the light tank climb was there. Just kind of added that another avenue which you could do stuff. But now it's just, you know, it is a map, I guess. Certainly not the worst, but not good. Right off the bat, both teams running similar lineups. Triple CS63s in that sense, I mean, in the Turan. Pretty meta, what you're going to expect. Decoy actually running 2 machines. Now, did you play when the machines were introduced? I think you did, right? You played when machines were still a thing, yeah?
I think they're very new.
Very new?
I still play.
So they when they were first introduced, they were good, right? Because before 6.0 accuracy. ever since then, now that they've been in the game for a while, I think 6-0 inadvertently nerfed the machines because they're so easy to pen now that they... I hope we don't just see a cluster in the middle here, but I think we're about to. And it's going to be a decoy win on this cluster because both these machines are going to go in. Super Delicioso getting shredded. Slick Desires is going to be the next kill. I do believe you are going to see one lose all of their CS60. Yeah, maybe not here, actually. Decoy got a very good punish into Bob and the rest of the machines. Yeah, and one knows this. Dodger Blue is going in. See who wins the focus fire here. Bob's going to be the first tank they try to kill. Bob does die. Decoy. Super Delicioso's a one-shot. He does die. Now it's Airstorm in a 1v3. Bounces off Sick Desires. Bounces off Airstorm. In the middle, the one heavy tanks are losing this fight. But up top, the one medium tanks are winning their fight. We'll see who comes out who. It's funny. CS63 is just all bouncing off one another. Airstorm does die. It's Dip in the QL getting a shot into Koza. Koza petting him twice in return. And It's Dip is now going to die to the CS63s. No, he does die to Koza. Okay. And now it's basically over for Decoy now to come back from this. It's just depending on how one wants to play this. Papa Snowdog is still in the back of the terrain. That's another thing too. Now that the action slowed down, CS63. What do you think about it?
Oh, amazing tank.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. The speed is crazy.
It's...
I need to grind one.
It's very good. It's very good. Wizzy, by the way, in the Turan flanking. Turan best TD. That's another tank we can talk about in a bit. That shit is OP as fuck.
Yeah, cracked.
I think all these CS63s dropped off hill without Decoy knowing, so they're about to have triple CS63 on their side, which is funny. Music in the Mark 6 getting penned once. That's all it gets. Does get peaked for Koza by that. And this is just a slaughter on one side then. Papa Snowdog, Glass Tank Alive, 1,000 on the Turan. RBRT's Wizzy and his Turan for 1124. I won't say there's an RBRT, probably aimed, but 950 on a tank that has better camo rating than the Grill 15. Fully traversable turret, faster. Why? $100. They said, here, anybody who's never even ground tier 10, you have access to this thing. Cool. I mean, Wizzy in the Turan, I don't know where he squeezed out 4K. That must have been, like, versus the heavies and the medium tanks that push. But, GG to him. VZ55, 23, CS63s all doing, or two doing, like, 1900, 1800, last one 1200, and Mark 6 out of Music, 855. Congratulations to one for winning that round on Vines. You used to see that quite a bit. Or at least I found, like, back in the day, like 2017, 2018, like, teams would contest middle like that, right? You haven't seen that as much recently. So that was kind of crazy. So that's one of the reasons I don't like this map, to be honest. I don't like when you just... I don't like the 7v7 YOLO Fest maps, personally. But Andre the Giant. Oh, they're not actually going to run that thing, are they? No, okay. Troll pick. Troll pick. Another thing, Kaiser, I don't know if you know this, we can see their tank picks. They cannot see each other's tank picks.
Right, yeah.
So
Fog of War is nice.
It's nice that they added that in for the spectator. The only thing I wish they would change is, like, when you're picking tanks like on your team, it doesn't show you your teammates' tank pick. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah. I saw that.
So Storm Tiger at Akosa, we played one earlier on this map. They're probably going to do the same thing they did against us, which we did break that, and we won that game, but they could basically stack a Storm Tiger to watch the A cap, or even the B cap, although it's not as useful, and the Storm Tiger can perma splash reset A cap on this map.
I wish you could see sectors on in the lobby map.
You like ping, like where people pinged?
Right.
Yeah.
Would be helpful.
Oh, you mean right here, like right here, like A, you know,
Mhm.
A, B. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep.
I completely agree. I honestly wish. I think this map would be 1,000 times better if they re-added back in like the hill in the back of the map, like K0 position, but they give it an access point from the attacking team also. So like if the attacking team gets a light tank up to, let's say, right where my camera is right now, which is like FF9 area, if the attacking team can get a light tank here unspotted and do the climb, they would have access to it. I think that would make this map a hell of a lot better for diversity, but obviously that's never going to happen. I just think that might be an addition, so... I don't think we're going to see one YOLO middle, unlike what Decoy just did, so... Rolling out the Type 5 heavies again. Pretty good tank picks. Bob is just going here to spot for Snowdog. I don't think he's going to get anything. Wizzy's already across, and Dodger Blue and Idol are going to cross his red. Idol does get spotted here. Does the Tyran hit his shot for a 1K banger? 403, he bounces. Tyran hits the gun of Idol. Somebody's not running a Camel crew. Because Dodger Blue didn't get spotted. And they were basically next to each other. Or maybe Idol didn't pop food. Mistake. Wizzy's Bush is getting blind fired. They're missing. But he is getting shot at. Dodger Blue also getting blind fired out of that position. Very nice blind fires out of Decoy.
Yep.
Bob does get shot in return for that, so it wasn't for free. Decoy doesn't have any tanks on a hill yet. They're about to get their CS63s up there now. Sick Desires in the Type 5 Heavy. Holding Koza. Or Dip, excuse me. Dip will not be able to peek that. Airstorm gets proxied by Music. Dip got one shot off. I don't know what he was shooting at. I assume Koza. If you are 1 in this position, they're doing pretty well right now. Tank positioning wise. The only way Decoy breaks this, and I'll tell stream this and everybody this just so they know, is Decoy has to commit a large number of tanks to pushing out Music and then the Sturm Tiger. But to do that successfully is kind of hard because you have to sneak your tanks into... You have to sneak your tanks into like this position right here, stream. And then cross and shoot this gap, right? And in doing that, you have to kill this Type 5 Heavy and you have to attempt to kill this guy. But you have to do it quick before one can react to that. So, Mega Delicioso in the Mark 6 losing 700. I think that was to the Sturm Tiger. Sturm Tiger is also a stupid tank, KASIER. I don't know what your opinions are on that thing. The amount of...
Yeah, it's a funny tank. HE. Yep.
380mm gun, by the way.
Same.
It's just like... it's just an HE meta, unfortunately. I don't... we don't personally run the Sturm Tiger, but I understand why teams do run it. It has like a... I think like an 18-meter splash or something stupid like that. Basically an artillery piece, but not actually needing to run an artillery. That push is going to happen now out of those CS63s. But they are not a big enough force by themselves to actually do anything. They're rotating Bob out now. Bob is going to be far behind. I think the right play here actually is to rotate Papa Snowdog also with the CS63s and bring the Tyran over there. Let Mega Delicioso play this side of the map basically by himself. And you're going to have to take that risk that you can beat it. One, is Santi rotating? No, Santi's just peeking up top now. Mega Delicioso getting spotted again by Sick Desires. Right now, one is up about 1,000 hit points. More like, sorry, 1,500 at this point. Triple CS63s are now in position. Rotating kind of wide. It's... I'm not going to say it's a mistake, but pushing the way they're pushing is worse because the Type 5 Heavy spots them earlier. They should push from where Dip is. Because look, all these guys are spotted here. Storm Tiger gets a shot. You're going to see Just Music hit something here. Swaps to the main gun. Is he going to get a shot here into one of these guys? Does not. They do make it into position, but they lost a lot of hit points doing so. Storm Tiger is about to slap the shit out of one of these guys. 734, not as big as a shot as we thought. Koza is going to die for that. Maybe not. Dodger Blue is now back to shield for his Storm Tiger. And then It's Dip is getting counter-pushed. Mega Delicioso, BR Saucer, Papa Snowdog all out of the fight for their team. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them or not. Saucer sending it in. He does bounce one off of PL, rams him. Slams one into Sick Desire, but now he's going to be fighting two Type 5 Heavies here. Super Delicioso also about to die. And then Mega Delicioso and Papa Snowdog both out of the fight. That was a mistimed push out of Decoy's part. Exactly what we thought might happen. Their Turan was out. I said their Turan should really go with them. Their Turan hasn't gotten a single shot in here yet. There you go. It gets one in there for 1,000, but now it is a Turan and a Mark 6 in a 2v6 situation. That being said, they are all one shot, except for Wizzy. As long as Wizzy doesn't get Turan here, this should be a GG. Mega Delicioso looking the completely opposite way. Complete opposite way. Wizzy fires one, bounces two. Pens three, does die to the Storm Tiger, and now it is the Turan in the 1v6 position. Can the Turan do it, Kaiser? A little 1v5 action.
Winnable.
Look what they're doing, dude. They're all waiting. They're all sitting there. Ah, bounced off the CS63. He dies, giving up after that. Yeah. CS63 armor is good, dude. It's good. That's why everybody uses it.
Auto bounce angles.
Yeah, it's good. Congratulations. One winning mine. So we have scores currently 2-2 for anybody watching. I know I don't have scores on the screen. I don't know if I ever will. I frankly think they kind of clutter the already like full UI. Some people don't like that, but I do my best to keep track of. Sorry, I was texting somebody. Mega Delicioso and BS Saucer in the VZ55, both doing 4388 and 3297 respectively. Pretty good damage numbers. Turan out of Papa Snowdog. I mean, we saw it there. He was sitting in the back of the map the whole time. I said when the CS was pushed, I thought he should roll with them or at least push up. And sure enough, his whole team pushed in, and he was at least a solid 2 minutes out of the fight beforehand. Over on one side, Type 5 Heavy 4395. CS63, Dodger Blue 3196. Storm Tiger out of Koza 3K. And then you have Batchat, IS7, CS63 all doing, well, Batchat doing 1500, about a mag. One shot short, shot. Jeez, I cannot speak English tonight. One shot short of a full clip. CS63,000. Type 5 Heavy Sick Desires unfortunately dropping a donut. That's okay because his team carried him. Misplay there out of Decoy was pushing too early with the CS63s, and then in my opinion they pushed the wrong They push the wrong way. If that makes sense. I don't know if stream can understand what I'm saying, but if you push 7-8, you're unspotted. You're not spotted by the Sturm Tiger nearly as early as when they did. So, you have any thoughts and opinions on that match? Or that one went to KASIER? Or anything you noticed that happened?
Oh yeah, you mentioned everything. I did notice the Sturm Tiger hit, shot once and damaged 2 tanks with 1 fucking shot.
Yeah.
Damaged 1 CS for like 800 and the other for 3 something. So
yeah,
that was funny.
Very cool. Now, if they would have crossed by where their VZ55 went down, they wouldn't have got it spotted by that Sturm Tiger. They would have got the first tank to spot them would have been that Type 5 Heavy. And then the Sturm Tiger has to peek full around the corner to shoot them. And yeah, I just rewatched that on stream. We just saw that.
Sturm Tiger countered that perfectly.
He actually damaged all 3 of them, by the way. He hit the first guy for like 100, the second guy for, like you said, 700, and the other guy for 300. What a fun tank.
Yep.
Cool. Proc now. Another classic map. It's been on for a while. Been going on for a while. EBR 105. I've seen one run the EBR quite a few times. I personally hate that tank for comp. Have you had any experience with the EBR? Have you driven it or seen it around?
No, I've seen it around. Wheel tanks are interesting. I gotta try it out myself.
It has 190 millimeters of APCR pen, like 240 millimeters of heat pen. It's very awkward to drive. And then your camo rating and view range, it just ends up being about the same as like a T100 LT. Like for raw, because it has more camo rating than an LT and a Manticore, but it doesn't have the same view range. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of blind. And unlike PC, it doesn't go 100 kilometers an hour. So... And it was funny, earlier today when we played one, they also ran a EBR 105, which I killed at the end of the game. But I remember Parker was shooting at it like, I guess that's a good thing about the tank. Parker was shooting at it, and we damaged its tires like 3 times. And when you damage a tire on the EBR, it slows it down a considerable amount. So at the beginning of that game when we were playing, we damaged its tire and it slowed down to like something like 40 kilometers an hour in bad mobility. And then decoys... Go ahead. Sorry.
I did not know that damaging their tires slowed them down.
Yeah, so let's see if it happens this game. You have to watch. But, like, there you go. That sort of maneuverability it has is very good. Decoy's not running a light tank. Personally, I think that's a mistake, but that's just me. It's Dip taking a very aggressive position in the IS-7. Very good. CS63 is out of Super Delicios and Airstorm rotating into the back. Papa Snow Dog rotating on the 1 line. I think the CS63 is just going to rotate with the Turan and play back here. They might be going for... I don't know, actually. Decoy is currently set up where they can push anything, so it's very good, I think, for them. Slick Desire as being the only light tank in the game means he can kind of bully and abuse these heavy tanks. He can't, like, do damage to them, especially that IS-7, but he can certainly keep them spotted, and then his main goal is going to be spotting these, like the CS63 and Turans, but we'll see if he can do that. Because the way to spot those CS63s and Turans is actually to, like, knock down the trees here on, like, in between the 1-2 line, kind of on this ridge, and you just sit here and wait for them to push. They are spotted. Good shot out of Koza into Super Delicioso. Papa Snowdog and the Turan, of course, unspotted. Slip it back to this side, see what's going on over here. Bob in the Batchat holding hill. And everybody else just kind of chilling. I mean, one's got a pretty good defense on this right now, guys. It's going to be difficult for Decoy to crack. With Dodger Blue being in this position in the IS-7, he's basic. You have to expend so much resources to dig him out of there, so they can't really... It's going to be a hard push for BCAP if they decide to go for it. Over on the other side of the map, though, you have a Mark 6 and a VZ55 and a Turan holding back here, so they can't really push this either. It's a good damage spread out of 1. I think the only way 1 loses this right now is if their Mark 6, excuse me, their Chieftains on the mid-range here bleed too much hit points, which is a possibility, but it's going to be... They'd have to throw is what I'm trying to say. That's another tank, KASIER. Your thoughts and opinions on the Chieftain Mark 6 now that that thing is... have you seen that thing being played recently? Have you played it?
Yeah, I've played it. Solid tank in this meta.
That's
Depression,
phenomenal.
DPM, decent turret.
Yeah, imagine when that thing first came out, I'd never thought I'd see the day where the Mark 6 was the best of the British heavies. And the S-Conk was the worst. In my opinion, the hierarchy right now goes Mark 6, Valor, 215B, and then like S-Conk below that. Because even the 215B was buffed. The 215B is like fun to play in pubs. It's not really a comp tank per se, but it's a very good pub tank. And could be used in comp, but it's not quite that good. But it's just, oh, how the mighty have fallen, you know. Koza blind firing Turan. Turan just straight up shooting at Koza. See if Koza can figure out what bush he's in. Oh, that was close, Koza. Do it again, Koza. Same possession. You'll hit him. Bit of a stalemate here. On proc, your biggest friend on proc as the defending team is using the clock. The clock is your 8th teammate. And some teams don't understand that, and so they like get really aggressive on defense. You don't need to. This is NBA. You are the defending team. This isn't encounter where, you know, it's a cap circle being fought. It is attack and defense, right? And not every team can effectively use the clock, but right now, 1 has burned half the time down now. And both teams only have 1 pen to show for it, but obviously this is better for 1. I say that as the CS63s out of Decoy get ready to push into Dodger Blue. They are pushing him solo, so we'll see how this goes. Wizzy really needs to get there to assist his brother. IS-7 now. Wizzy is going to come in. That's a bounce out of the IS-7. He's going to get penned twice here. Wizzy in the Turan does shoot somebody for 856. Dodger Blue decides to shoot the other guy. Goes for a ram here. Wizzy's getting magged up by the Batchat, but he needs to shoot these guys. Dodger Blue survives another shot. Super Delicioso. Sick Desires going in to assist here with his IS-7 buddy. They do kill Super Delicioso. Dodger Blue still not a one-shot for Airstorm. Even if Airstorm shoots him again, does bounce off the IS-7. And there you go. You're losing. Is Wizzy going to die? Wizzy's not going to die. Hang on.
Who won?
I had to mute Emphy there. Emphy, we are still in game. Nobody can hear you. Just so you know, you're unmuted, so. Dodger Blue does stay alive there. I probably should make these parties invite only, huh? Not like Emphy. It's not Emphy's fault. Now the party's invite only. Dodger Blue didn't die off the push. Remember what we were saying? That's a very hard position to take. There you go. You did have a lot of bounces off the CS63s, but you also had like 2 bounces off of Dodger Blue himself, like from Dodger Blue in the IS-7. So, I wonder what the plan is going to be for Decoy now. Hit points are actually in Decoy's favor, surprisingly, because although Decoy did lose both their CSs, they did get both Wizzy and Dodger Blue down to 1 shot. So, Wizzy was the tank, I think, that didn't need to lose hit points, but he did. I don't know why he was peaking the way he did to lose hit points. But, oh well. Santi PL and the VZ55 just playing redline. Over on this flank, Koza is down more hit points. I assume those are either HG rounds out of the Turan, or maybe its dip has got a lucky shot into him. We kind of missed that. I assume that happened when that little skirmish on the other flank was going down. And now you have 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. It's going to be hard for one not to win this game, but we'll see what happens. EBR on a Sick Desire. This is going to be the early warning detection system for Mr. Bob here in the bat chat pushing forward. Sick Desires does get spotted. Does he get shotted? See right there? He got his track hit right there, his tire. He did repair it, so he didn't lose mobility. Does get a shot into Bob. Gets his engine damaged. We'll see if Bob can kill him here. Bob hemorrhaging a lot of hit points, bouncing off of Sick Desires. Some unfortunate shooting out of the Batchat here. Miss again, and now that's going to be death for Bob. That was 4 misses, I think, out of the Batchat on the EBR. And that is going to cost him his life. He does die for that. Its dip also dies, unable to kill Koza. Hit points still similar, although one has not lost a single tank yet. Turan out of Papa Snow Dog finally gets spotted, gets his ammo rack shot, gets deleted off of one's gun line, 377, and now it is going to be a 2v7, excuse me. Mega Delicioso and BR Saucer. They, in theory, could do it, but it's not going to happen with that EBR holding crossfires, and they're just getting pushed too quickly. And then Sante is the tank that has all the hit points for 1. They do die there, and then it's going to be BR Saucer as the last remaining tank. I mean, this was an obvious one, guys. That double CS63 push from the IS-7 cost Decoy the game. It was kind of calculated because they knew where he was. He was spotted, but just it's such a hard position to push out that you almost want to just avoid it. Or if you're going to push it out, you probably want to send 3 tanks. And over on one side, Valor, 3,000 damage out of Idle. And then Mr. Dodger Blue, the IS-7 that was getting pushed, 2764. EBR doing 2,500 damage. If you're letting an EBR drop 2,500 on you, yikes. Excuse me. That's all I want to say. So right now that makes the score 3-2. 1 is up. Anything you noticed that game, Kaiser, that you thought you might want to point out?
No, it was close up until the point the 1-2 push came out. There's some whiffs. EBR dominated 1-2 late game, so.
Yeah. Decoy now switching to a 200 LT. I personally think white tanks are very important. Because I guess there's different ways you can rationalize playing the game, right? Like different play styles, we'll say, for these teams. Like, personally, for us, for the way that we play, I'm talking about synergy at this point, it is all, like, information and knowing where tanks are is the most important gameplay item for us. Not every team plays like that. Some teams would rationalize and say our strats are more important. You know, we're going to stick to this. We're going to do this, something crazy. And in my opinion, if you have the information and where the tanks are located at, you can adapt, improvise, and overcome any strategy that's put into place. You need to have, but with that sort of a playstyle, you need to be very flexible. Light tanks, and both these teams are running one, allow you to take full advantage of the information game, we'll say, regardless of whether or not they're doing damage. So sometimes a light tank's most important job, I've said this before, isn't doing damage, it's getting spots on people. If you can relay good information to the rest of your team and where vehicles are located at, that is the most important thing you can do. So we're going to see here 200 LT versus EBR, how it plays out for the second time today for one. First time today was versus Synergy. What is the score? That's a good question. Let me see what map we're on. Of course, the first time they played it was versus us on Mali. I just don't... The EBR, I don't see it the reason over the T100 LT. That's just me. You have less hit points, worse DPM, your camo view range are kind of the same. I guess you have weird mobility, like things you can do, but with how fast, or like, with how good like the accuracy is on the T100 LT and all the other tanks, like if you're fighting against a team that knows how to aim, like really good shooters, the EBR is going to get damaged. So... EMC 90 Bob going to the obvious bush here on the, Oh, Bob, what are you doing? Going into that bush, okay. Bob's gonna get spotted here. Whether or not, does Bob get shotted here? No, he does not. Sick Desires gets trapped under an airplane wing. EBR, Pog U, good stuff, good stuff. Ooh, gets trapped on an airplane again. There's some tire physics for you guys. Phenomenal, And somehow Bob gets shot for 550 there. So, I don't know if you caught that stream, or KASIER, if you caught that too. He drove... he hit that airplane, and because he has wheels, dude, it like wedged him under that wing. And he couldn't move.
Interesting.
Because the physics are so great. And then for just for the fun of it, EM90 Bob decides he's gonna test his luck versus the VZ55s, and he also loses all of his hit points for an unknown reason. I don't know what that was about, but classic, dude. Cool. Well, both fight tanks are one shot now. I guess Bob isn't really one shot, but he's basically one shot. Sick Desires is 100% one shot. Hit points are basically the same. Decoys up because they had more hit points to start out with. Bob taking another shot. Again, don't know why he is even spotted. Don't shoot, brother. No reason to shoot, my guy. You're light tank. Come on. This is funny. T100 LT Turan, EBR Turan. Mega Delicioso spotted over here on this side by Sick Desires. Proc is a better map than Cliff and Mines in that, but it's still, in my opinion, it's like not the best map. They can play a better one. Does that make sense? It's not a bad map, but I don't think it's like top tier competitive, just because I do feel like the defending team has a large advantage on this map. I know when you played Proc, KASIER, it was just Proc Encounter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Sick Desires does die again. Light tanks getting spotted because they're shooting their guns. Why? Why, guys? And Bob just gets spotted by Koza there. I don't know if Koza's going to be able to get the shot here on him. No, he does not. It's been so long since I've played Encounter. It's been, I think, sounds like 2 years. Looking back on it, I do think NBA is better, but at the same time, there's certain NBA maps that are just not balanced, so...
Yeah.
Better than Encounter for sure. Koza GG, now the only tank on this flank. One is getting ready to push the 7890 line with 5 minutes remaining. They're doing it with plenty of time. Papa Snowdog on the IS-7, Airstorm. And then BR Saucer. BR Saucer going for a little bit of an overpeak there. He is being spotted by... I think Dodger Blue spotted him. For this push to work, they need to keep Dodger Blue off this ridge, which Idle appears to be doing. I don't know, actually. Yeah, Idle is BR looking at, sorry, BH Saucer. Let's call him Saucer from now on. Yeah, Saucer is just looking at Idle. Okay, that's correct. Over on this flank, Koza is literally here to buy time for his team. Because as soon as his team pushes that, Koza is going to be the next push. And so, best situation for Koza here is he shoots Super Delicioso once. Super Delicioso is going to be the first tank that comes up and over. But Koza's main goal should be kill Bob. Push happening on this flank out of one. Idle doing a very good job keeping BR Sasa down. Both VZ55s are spotted. Batchat shot twice. Miss. Third one does connect. He has two more on the Mac. Does he get another one in? He does bounce. Batchat's now reloading. He'll be up and running in about 40 seconds. Let's see how Decoy responds to this. Not a whole lot of movement so far. I don't know if maybe they think it's just the two VCs pushing that. And Decoy now sending the rotates out. Koza just lost all of his hit points for some reason. Phenomenal execution out of Papa Snowdog, but they do lose their CS63 for that because Mr. Saucer was unable to keep knocked down. VZ55s are not going to be able to come to the train tracks. Over on the other side, Koza's on 300 hit points. That's, if they lose, I'm going to say it's Koza's fault. He didn't need to peek the terrain there. And he lost all of his hit points for it, too. Now Super Delicioso is going to get shot in the back, though, so it's not like he can really peek. Super Delicioso is now 1. I think they're going to have Turan start cap pressure. Super Delicioso is now 52 hit points. Turan out of its dip, just going to push Koza. That is the correct play to make. Koza does die. BH Saucer is still very healthy in his Mark 6. Reformed Wizzy does get spotted by Saucer. Ooh, an unfortunate track there. Then 294 on Idle. Misses. I mean, Saucer not dying here is going to be what loses in the game. Yep, Wizzy getting resetted by Mega Delicioso. He does die. Wizzy, a minute 33 seconds left. He needs to leave the cap circle. I mean, BO Scout can just... Excuse me, Saucer can just keep resetting him there for free. This is a losing game, Wizzy. Mark 6, Mega Delicioso still full HP in the back. It was a good push right up until Dodger Blue died and Koza threw, I think, like 1,700 hit points. So, there you go. Proc is an even map. Decoy Mark 6s both doing like 3K. I mean, 2,700, 3.2. Batch out with Airstorm, 2,700. Turan, 1,700. Over on the other side, EBR dropping a donut. And then Reformed Wizzy also dropping a donut in the Turan. Koza GG only penning 2 shots. And then, like I said, Koza overpeaked there and lost so much hit points. He didn't need to do that. He needed to try to stay alive as long as he can on that flank to basically stall the Turan and then Super Delicioso from getting back in time. VZ55 had a Santi doing the most, 2100. Idol and the other Chieftain doing 2100 also. I think another mistake that one made is they crossed Idol to the other side of the train tracks. Do you know what I'm talking about, KASIER? Like, they crossed him to E6 instead of keeping him on the side that he was on. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I can, this is gonna draw me in shame because I need to know. I need to. I need to show
Kind of play
stream
the
this.
same. It's just rough to attack on Brock.
It is difficult. Winnable for one there, but
yeah.
But I need to explain what I'm talking. Okay, just so stream, just so you can understand what I'm saying here. So, one's Valor was sitting here, right? Hang on. Let me get this little... How do I draw on this thing? This? Yeah. One's Valor was sitting here, okay, holding the Valor of Decoy, which was sitting here, or the Mark 6. And in an ideal situation, Koza is alive here, on this side, preventing the Turan, LT, and other Valor from shooting Mr. Idol in this position. But when Idol rotates over the train tracks, comes over here, okay, that means that... Let me draw, please, game. Oh, my goodness. There you go. That means that this Mark 6 can now peek here and shoot Wizzy and the rest of the tanks on this flank. Where if Idol would have stayed here, this Mark 6 could not peek high like that. So, but obviously Idol needed to cross because Koza died. Unfortunately, I'm going to say that L is because of Koza. Score is 3-3 going into round, what is this, 7? Round 7? So,
they probably would have been better off with the Turan on one line too.
Yes, most likely. Ghost Town. You like Ghost Town as a comp map?
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
It's...
I mean, it was made for comp specifically.
I thought it was made for... Wasn't it made for, like, that, like, weird, like, free-for-all game mode? On PC?
I'm pretty sure it was made for, the League they had on PC, no?
Was it? I don't know. I don't know. I swear there was some weird game mode they played Ghost Town on, and then it just merged over. But either way, I do agree I like it. What I don't like is the lack of Type 5 heavies on 1. I think that's a bit of a mistake. I mean, 1 is already down, like, what? What is that? Like, almost 2,000 hit points? 1,500 hit points? Like, off spawn?
Right.
So the thing with the Type 5s on this map is if you have a good enough Type 5 player, and since this Type 5s have their little minigun stream, you can put a Type 5 heavy right here, and he can solo reset this cap circle right here. Basically by himself. So we're going to see how... Okay. Man, 1 has been playing the most aggressive I've seen any team play of recent. E4 and 50B ready for cross shots. Miss, miss, miss. E4 does miss. 50B connects 1. Does 50B connect 2? No, he does not. That was a failure of a punish. Failure of a punish, excuse me. Shot onto It's Dip from the heavy tank is a miss. And there you go. It's Dip coming into reformed Wizzy and Koza. Papa Snowdog losing a ton of hit points to the VZ55. Decoy trying to react in time. Super Delicioso and Airstorm both rotating up. Are they going to be able to get there in time? Bob getting shot in the Type 5 heavy. One's going to have to react now. Or, geez, this is hard to call here. What's about to happen? One loves their VZ55s. IS-7 out of idle getting set on fire by the HE out of the Type 5 heavy. Type 5 heavy, Mr. Bob pushing forward. Does he get an HE shot into Koza? No, he does not. Excuse me. CS63's need to get into this fight now. Koza's going to die. Koza not quite reloaded yet. 1209 ammo rack out of reformed Wizzy. 50B does die. Type 5 heavy shooting him with his secondary gun. Koza's dead. You have Sick Desires versus Super Delicioso and Airstorm now. One has the hit points here, but I don't know how long it's going to continue for. It's Dip get another kill. I don't know who's going to win this, honestly, Kaiser. Because those Type 5 heavies are menaces versus the CS63s. It's no longer close. Just music just got folded. I wonder if... the Idol's just going to get double peeked with these Type 5s and nobody's there to punish for him. And Super Delicioso is going to push with his IS-7 men. It's Dip being alive in the E4 is their wild card. Nobody's here to cover Idol, though. Idol's going to get double peeked by these Type 5 heavies. Super Delicioso also rotating. Gets a shot into Dodger Blue. Dodger Blue's one shot. E4 doing E4 things. E4 being just an S tier. Another bounce out of the E4. I'd say I'm surprised, but I'm not. Over on the other flank, IS-7 does kill Type 5 heavy. Okay. Does IS-7 out-reload Type 5 heavy, though? He does. Is he going to get a... does not. Now it is CS63 in a 1v3 situation. Man, it... One made the correct play there at the beginning, pushing like they did, and Decoy kind of fluffed their shots. And then one was up a lot of hit points, right? At that initial salvo. But when Decoy went to counter push with their heavy tanks, the fact that one's CS63s were so far out of the fight for that whole time caused them to lose. Because what ended up happening is you have a situation where Decoy's Type 5 heavies make it out of there very healthy. And then you have an E4 and double Type 5 heavy versus triple CS63s, i.e. tanks that don't do well versus large alpha, large HE guns. In a very close quarters map, and it was just GG from there on out. They really should have just let that Mark 6 live, and they should have had their CS63s go into town to help assist with their heavies. So, any thoughts on that? Good
initial movement by one.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about too many autoloaders, like triple stack BZs. Like once they're on reload, they kind of become a liability.
Especially if running 3 of them, and then your only other tank to assist is an IS-7, which IS-7's great, don't get me wrong. But it has a 9-second reload, you know?
Yeah, it just doesn't have the DPM.
To really, like swap people off. So, I'm with you there on that one. You think it might have been a bit better for them to run maybe double type instead of the VZs?
Right, yeah, and have all that extra HP.
Have the extra HP and then the slugfest, because the CS63s, the VZs were not like helpful for that push. I will say the VZs did hit Papa Snowdog for a lot, right, in the 50B. But it might have been better for Type 5 heavies. Because if they have Type 5 heavies there and they don't need to play as aggressive, it's just... Yeah, and then not killing Papa Snowdog 2 in the 50B was a huge thing for 1, but... So, because even when 1, like, did that initial salvo where they, like, got all those shots into the 50Bs and got all that damage up right, 1 was still down hit points to Decoy.
Yeah.
Because Decoy had that much hit points starting out, so, like, when that slugfest started happening in the middle of the map, although, like, all these tanks look like they're low, they just weren't. They weren't low. And then Idol got set on fire on his IS-7. A CS-63 got penned for, like, 800. So, yeah. Score is 4-3. Decoy winning. Going into round... What is this? Round 8? Yeah. Longest comp game I've called in a while. One whipping out the solo Type 5 Heavy. Again, with as good as the Type 5 Heavy is. Run 2 of them, guys. Come on. They might have plans with IS-7s, but run 2. I mean, look at over on Decoy. Double Type 5 Heavy. Double Type, I think, minimum on these city maps is what you need to run. Personally. That's just me. I'm not the greatest player of all time, but after watching these games for almost this whole season, I've been streaming these community games. And at least in these NA League 1 matches, Type 5 Heavies win games. You know, they are the game winners. Idol in the Chieftain playing an aggressive position. Spotting their Mark 6s out of Decoy. Type 5 Heavy out of Music pushing up 2. Does he get there unspotted? Ooh, Mark 6 showing why the Mark 6 is better. Where does our Mr. Valor get penned here? Was that just a cupola shot or was that a lower plate? I don't know where he got penned at. Unfortunate. Let's go ahead and look at Wizzy. Knocked over sideways. Shameful display out of Wizzy. Not able to do the climb. Quite unfortunate for him. The Type 5 Heavies out of Decoy blind firing the position that Wizzy's going up to. I think, I don't actually know if Wizzy lost hit points. Did you catch that, Kaiser? Did he lose hit points for falling there? Or did he lose hit points for...
I did not see.
Getting blind fired?
I didn't see it.
Because all of Decoy is blind firing that position now, like they think a Terran's up there. So I think Decoy blind fired the climb. I think that's what happened. They think Wizzy's up there.
You can still
now.
make that climb in A1?
Yeah, you have to push. You have to push. So the Terran can make it up there, but you have to like designate two tanks to push it. Does that make sense? So like in that situation, it was IS-7 Terran. So good game. It's a good position for the Terran. I'm gonna say useless because your Type 5 Heavy can just reset the A cap if you have a Type 5 Heavy playing this far forward. So it's just funny the amount of blind fires coming out of Decoy onto the Terran that isn't there. Of course, Decoy's up about 800 hit points. Up a little bit more now that Idol got hit. Sorry. So, Airstorm in the bat chat, moving up. Down to the 1 line. Moving up on those dunes. Good positioning out of him. Dodger Blue got spotted by Airstorm. So Airstorm knows Dodger Blue sitting in the back now. Reformed Wizzy in the Terran. 1460. Now I think one of the things that Decoy is going to have to contend with here is Decoy thinks there's a Terran in that climb. So with Decoy thinking there's a Terran in the climb, they're going to play a lot more passive on pushing some things because they don't want to get slapped for 1,000. And although I do think that that position is sorry, I'm getting off top. Losing my thoughts here. This has been a long one. I don't think like having the Terran up there is like the most goated play, but with the Terran being up there, he can shoot a large portion of the map. So it's kind of just a fear factor at this point because Wizzy has yet to be spotted. And shout out to Decoy if they blind fired that. Congratulations for blind firing that Terran. That was phenomenal. Mark 6 firing HE at the IS-7. EMC 90 Bob getting a banger into Dodger Blue 600 and unspotted on the cap circle. Decoy making the correct play here, starting cap pressure. One's going to have to react to this. Let's see how they do it. Papa Snowdog holding the cross. Yep, Chieftain peaks Type 5 Heavy, pens for 400. Type 5 Heavy splashes for 400. Doesn't even need to pen. Koza GG pushing up in the IS-7. Airstorm has the cross. VH Saucer. This is going to be a rough one for one to win. And they're going to have to push into this. I mean, Santi PL in the IS-7 getting ready to go on the flank, but Papa Snowdog is there to contest. Does Papa Snowdog? Papa Snowdog gets one. That's all he gets into Santi. Santi's not going to be able to take. That's going to be able to reset Bob here. No, he does not. He cannot reset Bob. Mega Delicioso gets shot twice for that. Santi needs to be the reset tank. Santi is going to get a reset here. 413, okay. Music doesn't need to really... All they need to do is keep these Mark 6. Papa Snowdog's going to kill Santi. Here we go. Santi's going to die. Santi, of course, was the tank providing the resets for... Okay, Mr. 50B bouncing APCR shells off the back of an IS-7. That's unfortunate. Music does die there, though, for that. A bit of a misplay for him. Didn't really need to peak double Mark 6s in your Type 5 Heavy. Santi does die for that then after that salvo. Bob getting reset again. Hit points heavy in Decoy's favor. Bob bouncing another shot because Type 5 Heavies are better. It's Dip getting penned. BR Saucer bouncing another shot out of the Mark 6. And then the Decoy Mop is about to roll in onto Koza in Dodger Blue here. Koza does die. Dodger Blue and Tick Desire is going to be the next tanks to go down. 810 out of the Terran. That's a dead tank, though. Oh, shit. My headset just died. Well, there you go, another Decoy win here. What do you think was the mistake there, Kaiser, that one made?
Well, I think it just came down to tank selection. The team with more Type 5 Heavies won, and the Terran is just a glass cannon that can't really take damage, and it's hard to dish out damage on a map like this.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And then I think the second factor of that is not only the better tank picks, but I think the trades off of Decoy were better. Personally, I saw like the trading that was happening. Decoy's having better trades. Now you could say they're having better trades because they had better tanks, and I do agree with that. I mean, because I mean E4 double Mark 6, E4 doing 34, Mark 6 doing 36. Other Mark 6, 26, Type 5 Heavy, 24, 2000. I mean, Batchat doing the least amount of damage, but he really wasn't needing to. And then Papa Snowdog on the 50B coming in at the end to kill the only tank that had resets, which was who had resets for one? It was Sick Desires, right? In the IS-7? I think so.
Yeah, if you look at the lineup, one just had worse DPM tanks, worse armor tanks, worse flexibility. It's just tank selection.
Yeah, IS-7s are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge IS-7 enjoyer myself. But all right, Westfield. What's the score right now?
5-3. Yeah.
5-3. Decoy up. So, have you seen Westfield comp yet?
I've seen quite a bit of it. Yeah.
This is the worst competitive map in my opinion. The only reason I say that is because defense is basically a free win. So, a classic Wizzy running the Terran again. Terran one trick. So best of 11, that means what? First to 6 wins? Right?
Damn.
Yeah.
Math is hard.
Yeah, first to 6 wins. So this
Something
is
like that.
this is match point for Decoy. Damn, dude. Ballsy. So one picked this map. Instead of picking Sand River or Steps or any map that you can go to, like you can win both sides on, they picked a map where winning defense is one of the hardest defensive win maps. Wow.
I guess they just wanna win defense and then take it from there.
They're gonna have to
Upside
win it.
is
They're gonna have to
defense,
win
right?
attack. Yeah, left is defense. So they're gonna play defense first, right? And they're gonna probably win. I'll be honest, but you then have to win attack. I don't know. I wouldn't do it personally. I'm not like that.
Interesting.
But that's just me. There you go. CS63, Batchat, VZ55, Double Mark 6 over on one side. EBR again. I don't know why they have such an EBR boner.
Yeah, I've been liking Decoy's lineups a lot better. CS and Chieftain. Speed and DPM. Can't go wrong with that.
On this map, I agree. Krongwagen out of 1. Where are they sending a Krongwagen on defense? Where are they going to put a Krongwagen on defense? Unless they're going to put the Krongwagen like on the cliffs, like the cliffs on the defensive side. They're going to set them in one of those like cliff ridges. Where are they going to put a Krongwagen on defense? What are they doing? The Krongwagen's good in like 3 positions on like 3 different maps. I don't know where they're going to put him here is the issue. Because sending him all the way up to the top of the map is kind of like redundant. You don't need to really play up there. I guess they're going to put him like G like 3. What do you think? Like there? Like G3, I guess?
I guess so, yeah. Interesting.
I don't know where they're gonna, because so obviously they're gonna have one tank sitting K45. It's like it's the reason I hate this map so much is this K45 position.
Right.
Perplexing. We'll see. Sick Desires in the EBR is going to full spot the entirety of Decoy's team in approximately 10 seconds. 3 seconds at this point. CS63s get lit. Batchat does not. Heavy tanks do not get lit here. Okay, ballsy out of the EBR taking the shot there. I do like it though. I do like it. Showing why light tanks are just better. Very cool. Decoy is now in position. All of Decoy CS63 is rotating out. Heavy tanks have not taken that position. They're going to go play the other side of the map. Jester DC. in the OP position. Wizzy sitting in the back, kind of just covering everybody. I'll ask you that this game's probably going to be a little slower, Kaiser, so I'll ask you your thoughts and opinions on this. What if they took the cap circle that is in JH, like, 1-2, and they moved it up towards the hills, like where the heavies are right now? Like, moved it to, like, C2, for instance.
With P2, yeah, I think that would be healthier. You'll probably just see a bunch of brawl metas happening at C2 though. They'll probably play like a encounter game at C2.
I don't know anywhere else to move it, because right now the way the cap circle, I have never seen a team even touch the A cap, an attacking team touch the A cap. So that's what I just think it's too easy to defend both, because with or maybe edit the location of the B cap where they can actually cap the base, because right now there is literally no way for anybody to cap the base and not get blind fired out of it. Because you can sit behind this building, sure, but that's only going to last until they blind fire the building down. You could sit in these bushes, but you're going to get blind fired out of the bushes. Like, Jester DC.
What do you think about B-Cap? Put it more in the city or move it more down the hill? Like, maybe
I think
F6?
they put it more in city behind one of, like, to have hard cover for a light tank where the enemy team actually needs to, like, over peak to spot it. Does that make sense? Because right now, it's just... It could be reset like 9 different ways. Sick Desires, by the way, losing a lot of hit points. There you go. His tires are straight. See how slow he's moving?
Yep.
He repaired it. Doing a little donut there. Koza GG Idol pushing up in the Mark 6s onto Decoy's Mark 6s. A bit of a ballsy play, in my opinion. Again, no really reason to do that.
Right.
Because they could just hold back. They can hold in the back, but Idol's getting farmed for that now. And then its dip is going to be here in a second too, making this fight uneven. English is hard tonight on these long games. Mark 6, Idol losing another shot, down to 1,000. Mega Delicioso is going to shoot him again. Idol down another shot. 600. Mega Delicioso can probably shoot him again. Ooh, that time he bounces, but it's not going to matter because Koza... Idol and are about to get jumped by Decoy here. This is going about how we expected. Santi and the Krongwagen dead. Koza and Idol fighting their hardest. Make it to these is dead. They do have a light tank supporting them from behind, but it is just a light tank with terrible DPM. Idol dying to the Batchat. Koza now in the 1v4 situation. I think that was the misplay there, guys. That's gonna cost them the game. Those Chieftains had no reason to push up there. They really didn't. And then Santi in the... Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, no reason to on NBA.
Koza's dead. And then Sick Desires in the EBR. I don't like the EBR as a tank pick, personally. And then I think they could have put a better tank than a Krongwagen back there. And maybe if we had PC Krongwagen, put it back there, right? You 440, 3 shots, 2-second intro clip, yada, yada, yada. Our Krongwagen is useful in like a few different positions, but this position back here can be played by a Mark 6.
Yep. DPM.
So... Game is not over yet. They do have 4 minutes to dig out. I mean, it is a Turan, a Valor, and an IS-7. But now cap pressure can come from B, so... And of course, Sick Desire being the spot here. Decoy is making the right decision, rotating tanks back. Dodger Blue is probably in the best position out of the both teams. So, kudos to him. Three minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 55 seconds, excuse me. 4 minutes remaining. It's Sip getting spotted in the VZ55. No punish is going to happen to that, though. Unless Dodger Blue can peek him, which I don't think he can. EBR getting spotted. They rotated Jester DC back down to holding that cross. I wonder why. Because they had him rotating up, but he went back. The cap press was going to start out of Airstorm. And Light Tank dies. Airstorm doesn't get spotted for that, though. 2 minutes, 3 minutes remaining. Dodger Blue now going to be in across from the medium tank of Super Delicioso and the CS63. I will say I liked the Decoy's tank picks better this game too. Blind fire coming out of Jester DC, a bit too high there. Turan out of Wizzy rotating up, and Wizzy will be able to get close to something here. I wonder what his plan is. Spotted Airstorm. Airstorm's going to have to get out of the cap. Wizzy does miss in his Turan. Wizzy should die for that. That should be a Wizzy L. Gets shot once, does die. Dodger Blue now having to overpeak to reset its dip. Dodger Blue on 600, 2 minutes remaining. It's now a 2v a lot. Dodger Blue valiantly fighting at the end of the game. On the backside of the hill, but it's going to be too little too late. Its dip is going to get up close to him. This is going to be a Decoy win. Decoy win without Gambit calling. Without Gambit being there. Decoy more efficient without Gambit? I'm just kidding. Just a DC hemorrhaging a lot of hit points here now. Hellstorm killing him. And that is going to be a Decoy W. Congratulations. Anything, what do you think about that game? That last final match there to finish it off, Kaiser? Anything crazy?
Well, I do like aggro gameplay, but it's just not needed on Westfield NBA when you're on defense. So I'm not sure what that was about.
I agree. That lost them the game, honestly. Idle pushing up to that position lost all of his hit points. And they didn't need... Imagine if they have double mark 6 in the back of the map now when that push happens. It's just a misplay, especially on Westfield. That's why I personally hate Westfield, because to lose Westfield, you have to actively throw, okay? In this case, they did. They pushed their tanks up. They didn't need to do that. They were on defense. I understand, I guess, why they tried to, because they thought they had an overmatch, but it's just... It was just a mistake on them overall. So congratulations to one for winning this series, and excuse me, Decoy for winning this series, and they'll be moving on. This was the semifinals. I don't know who they play for the finals. I'll try to catch that game. It'll probably, I think it's Immortals, so
yeah, I think so.
Hopefully that game will be at a time that I can stream that also, and yeah. Stream, everybody else, you guys have a great rest of your night. I will probably be streaming normal tanks after this in probably about 30 minutes or 10 minutes. So, but yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night, and thank you, Kaiser, very much for stopping out. And
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody have a good one. Peace.